Maintaining a good relationship requires a lot of work, and in the need to make it perfect, we tend to pretend to be something we are not. Well, it works for a while and you will enjoy it, but I can promise you, it will never last. Any relationship built on the foundation of lies just to hold on to is bound to fail. Definitely, the truth will always come out. My dear beautiful lady, you are beautiful, smart, and amazing, just the way you are, and you don't need to change yourself to impress any man. No matter who he is, true love is not something that you buy. No, it is something that you earn. No matter how you love a person, changing yourself just to make him stay with you is trying to buy him, and I can boldly tell you that a love like that is not real no matter how you try to justify it. When God was creating you, He took up time to make you exactly the way you are now. Your characteristics, the way you look and talk, and how smart you are, all was created for a specific purpose. Just imagine that in the whole of this planet, no one is exactly like you. So why trade you just to make him love you? I tell you this, you owe it to yourself to be you, in all your glory, and you also owe it to God, because He made you the way you are for a purpose. Stop changing because a man who loves you will stay no matter who you are. Love is something we all yearn for, especially a romantic kind of love. Most ladies who no longer want love is because they have been hurt in ways that they no longer have the strength to love someone else. But looking deep into their souls, you will realize that they still need and want love. I understand the need to feel the love that you want, but changing yourself to get that love will only lead you to a dark place, leaving you broken and hopeless. Any man who wants you to change who you are just so he can be with you, then I can promise you that he never loved you in the first place. Love is not to be built on conditions. It is meant to be unconditional. You deserve to be loved just the way you are if all your characters are on the positive side. Love is the greatest a person can feel, and it has the power to overlook a person's imperfections and sins. I always say, Christ gave us the perfect example of how you should allow yourself to be loved. He loved us while we were yet sinners, and in our imperfections, He still chose to love us. So my dear girl, I know man is fully capable of loving you the way Christ does, but what I do know is that when a man truly loves a woman, no matter how she dresses, how she talks, or her social status, if what he feels is true love, he would stay with her. So you don't need to change yourself for a man to accept you. If he cannot accept you now, the way you are with the whole of his heart, then what makes you feel that he will decide to stay with you when you change? This thing we call change is the only constant thing on earth. So it's possible he wakes up tomorrow and tells you he is no longer comfortable with who you are again, and he wants a new you because he saw some other woman somewhere. Let me ask you, how do you then start changing to another person you are not? Men are people who are moved by what they see, and I can tell you that he can decide to tell you he wants you to be a different version because he saw it somewhere after you forced yourself to change to his preference for the first time. A man who will not accept all of you now will keep asking you to change to a different version almost all the time, and tell you the truth, no one is capable of living under such pressure. You will only end up more frustrated till when you completely forget who you are. We were all made with different attributes, what we love and what we don't. Everyone has what they want to see in his or her partner, and if he doesn't see that in you, trust me, another person will see it. Stop changing. If he loves you, he will stay, and if he doesn't, then you both were never meant to be together in the first place. When you are changing who you are, just to make him stay with you, then you are begging him to stay, begging for love and chasing after love. You don't need to chase after love. Love is supposed to chase after you. You don't need to beg for love. Love is supposed to come to you freely. When a man is staying with you because you are forcing yourself to be the version of what he wants you to be, then you are only heading towards losing yourself and losing your self-esteem. Being you is what boosts your self-esteem, and when your self-esteem tank is full, you are sure of living a successful and a fulfilled life. At the end of the day, what makes you happy is what gives you fulfillment, satisfaction, and happiness. Believe me, changing yourself to make a man stay with you will never give you that. Rather, all it will give you is pain. You might decide to change yourself now for this man, but as you both go deeper into the relationship, your real self will always surface, and he will begin to treat you like a stranger because he was never in love with you in the first place. When you also keep changing because you want him to stay with you, at the end of the day, you don't only destroy yourself, you destroy him too. So why not save yourself and him from going down that line? Show him the real you, and if he loves you, he will stay, but if not, let him go. He was never yours. Stop changing. If he loves you, he will stay. I know it is hard and scary to accept this statement, but I will tell you, if you don't show him the real you, you're going to continuously live on the edge. You will live a life of fear, forcing yourself to be perfect or be the version of who he wants, and you will never have peace. Life is already hard as it is. Why do you want to add the burden of constantly living with fear? And what will happen to you when he leaves you? Why not save yourself the stress and be who you are? Some of us have forgotten who we are, so let me help you by reminding you of who you are. You are a wonderful work of art created by the Father. You are beautiful, intelligent, and you are amazing. The Bible speaks in the book of Psalms chapter 139 verse 14 says, I will give thanks to you because I am awesomely and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. You are awesomely and fearfully made, which means when God was creating you, He was as careful with the way He put your body parts together, the way He puts each feature in you that makes you who you are, and that's why you are special. You need to see yourself the way David saw himself, and then you will realize just how important you are as a person. Beloved, I want to remind you that you don't need any man's acceptance of who you are just because of love. You don't need to impress him by doing things that are not you, just so he stays. If he cannot take all of you, then don't force it. Let love chase you, and you will live a happy life. A man who loves you will stay with you no matter who you are. If you have been changing and hiding who you are for a while now, just so he stays with you, then I think it is time you let yourself be the real you. Stop living with the pressure of pretending to be someone you are not, and always wondering what will happen when he finds out who you are. A man who loves you will stay no matter what you show him, and that is because love looks beyond our imperfections. If your case is him making you be someone you are not as the condition to stay with you, then I think you need to accept the truth that he does not love you and move on with your life. It's time to come out of that shell. You deserve to be loved just the way you are, and a man is expected to love you just as Christ loves the church. You don't need to force him to stay. He will only make your life miserable. Come out and be you. Stop changing. If he loves you, he will stay. Also, you are important, and you deserve true love. If he doesn't stay, he is not the one, and you have removed what is blocking the real one from coming. Be true to yourself and stay blessed.